She was once known as the Queen of Glitz, notorious for her crazy costumes, her hippie hairstyles, her outrageous comedy routines. But inside that slinky, sultry body of the one-time Las Vegas showgirl known as Cher, there was obviously an actress fighting to get out. An actress who first attracted critical acclaim in her role in Silkwood, opposite Meryl Streep. But now with Moonstruck, she staked her claim to true movie stardom. And tomorrow night, Hollywood time, a very good chance for an Academy Award.
I really enjoy playing bad girls. I mean, bad girls I think are much more fun to play than good girls, you know. It's one thing to live it, but it's more interesting to play women who have lots of conflict within their life.
You are a big liar, okay? Because I have a ring right here.
Oh, I must ask for that back.
You know, all right, the engagement is off.
In time, you will see that this is the best thing.
In time, you'll drop dead, and I'll come to your funeral in a red dress. You can't see what you are, and I see everything.
Cher has always played the bad girl, as a singer, a TV star, and as a Vegas showgirl.
She caught you, and you couldn't get away.
But as an actress in the movie Moonstruck, the bad girl has turned in a performance so good, it's won her a nomination for an Academy Award.
And now you're afraid because you know the big part of you is a wolf that has the...
Do you think there's an Oscar with your name on it?
I don't know. I mean, someplace in the future there probably is an Oscar with my name on it, but I don't know if it's going to be for this one.
We caught up with Cher in London for the premiere of Moonstruck. It's wowing them in Europe just like it is in America and Australia.
What do you like about Moonstruck? What did you enjoy doing it?
I just think it's such a great movie. I think it's a movie that leaves you with such a good time. It's not like you walk out of a movie and you just forget it and you go, okay, now what else will we do? You think about it and you talk about it, and it really starts to make you laugh and smile right from the beginning.
You're Sonny and Cher, and let's have a nice time.
They say we're young and we don't know. We won't find out until we grow.
She started out in the 60s as one half of that happy hippie act, Sonny and Cher.
Baby, I got you.
She'd been a backup singer. He wrote the songs and called the tune.
I got you, babe.
But as the flower power faded, their marriage became just a TV act.
I got you, babe.
One that didn't last.
I got you, babe.
Well, he and I met when we were 16 years old. I mean, I was 16, he was 28. I mean, I was with him for 11 years.
I got you, babe. I got you.
I really wish I hadn't been with him that long, but I really enjoyed the first couple of years a lot. And we had a great time. And then all of a sudden, we became Sonny and Cher. We were kind of no longer Cher and Sonny. It was always being Sonny and Cher that took up almost all of our time.
I understand your mother had a special kind of record that would turn just about anyone off marriage forever.
Yes, my mother was married 3 times to my father and 5 times besides that. I can't imagine why my mother married my father in the first place, but to marry him 3 times seems like a special kind of penance, you know, so I can't figure it out. He never was that appealing to me.
So what's your news?
I'm getting married.
Again?
Yeah.
You did this once before, it didn't work out.
But the guy died.
And what killed him?
He got hit by a bus.
As an actress, Cher now draws on the troubles she had growing up. She had a problem even learning to read because of the handicap dyslexia.
But I have a real problem with numbers. I mean, like dialing long distance sometimes is really difficult because I always switch the numbers. Or writing letters. I write to very few people because I can't spell. I'll start off with the first 3 letters and go to the last letter, you know, and just cut out everything in between.
Could it have been that dyslexia, the handicap that pushed you out of class? I've read the story when you were a little girl, you went storming out of school.
Yeah, I did. Well, I don't think that was so much as my rebellious nature, but no, the teacher at that time said, we're going to share our feelings, and I got up and said, I think this class sucks, and I'm going home, and I walked home, and I guess I was about 9.
Perhaps I should speak to the boy's father.
Perhaps you should speak to the Pope, too. He'd be a lot easier to find.
Under the circumstances, I do feel that for the good of my students, as well as your son, I'm going to need some additional information.
Look, Mr. Sims, you know what? Don't jerk me around. I'm not in the mood. I've had a real crappy day so far. First, I find out...
Her power, her special feeling, is for characters with a flaw, the outlaws, the hurt, and the handicapped.
And this is his last report card from Stevens Junior High School, where he was in the top 5% of his class.
In Mask, she played the motorcycle mama of a boy deformed by a rare disease.
It really was one of the most powerful Cher performances.
Well, I think no matter what I ever do, that will be my favorite piece of work, because I just have a special affinity for that piece.
Yes, Tom!
Don't you just hate the holidays? A couple of weeks of partying and you feel like a real blimp. Even your ankles got fat.
For a long time, Cher was famous for being famous. It was not her acting people talked about, but her body, her outrageous clothes, or her taste in men. Just listen to the names in Cher's little black book.
Sonny Bono.
Well, I mean, my strong opinion on Sonny Bono is that I think our relationship is the definitive love-hate relationship. I mean, we were the best and worst of everything that I know about relationships.
Gene Simmons of Kiss.
Oh, Jeannie. Jeannie's a pussycat. I mean, I can't, you know, that's what comes to my mind. Jeannie was the easiest person I ever lived with. You know, he was just fabulous.
Mr. Rhythm and Blues, Greg Allman.
Greg's a nightmare. I mean, you know, Gregory has a great heart and had a great capability for being a fabulous person, but drugs have just, you know, blown his life away.
I'll leave out a few. Tom Cruise.
Well, you know, I have nothing to say on Tom. I've never even publicly said that we have been together, neither has he. So if neither one of us are going to admit to it, I don't think you have a story.
That's a secret, is it?
Yeah.
Can I ask you a personal question?
Sure, what have these been?
How many tattoos do you have?
Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
And where are they?
All over, basically.
Do you get asked all the time, come on, Cher, show us your tats?
No. No.
Don't you know so many things, they come and go.
It's hard to believe the Hollywood vamp is now 41. Cher's been singing for 25 years. In fact, the young man in this new rock video, her current boyfriend Rob Camilletti, wasn't even born when she was singing with Sonny.
Well, we didn't realize that until a long time later, but we realized that the year that I toured England for the first time he was a year old then.
How did you meet Robert?
I met Robert the night I turned, well, I actually didn't meet him that night, but the night I turned 40, my best friend Paulette and I went to this place called Heartbreak. And I saw Robert in this crowd, and I said to Paulette, I said, I've just seen I said, look at that guy. That's the most beautiful guy I've ever seen.
Why don't you date some of the older Hollywood legends, the Marlon Brandos, the Jack Nicholsons?
Oh, well, Jack and I have been friends for such a long time, it wouldn't even occur to me to go out with him. But I've been asked out in the last 10 years by 2 older men, and both of them were married. And I didn't really see too much, you know, it's not too much of a future in that. So that I don't really know exactly why, but for some reason I'm not that appealing to older men. You are physically repulsive, intellectually retarded, you're morally reprehensible, vulgar, insensitive, selfish, stupid. You have no taste, a lousy sense of humor, and you smell. You know, you're not even interesting enough to make me sick.
In The Witches of Eastwick, you really seemed to mean it when you were giving Jack Nicholson, the devil, a bit of a dressing down. When you told the devil he was a dud.
Yeah, well, I mean, it was kind of, I mean, after Jack crawled across the bed the way he did, I must say that was really a difficult speech because I was laughing so hard that I literally had to bite my cheeks on the inside, you know. Goodbye, Daryl, and thank you for a lovely lunch.
Well, if that's the way you feel about it, that's the way you feel about it.
I must say that the scenes with him, I really loved doing the scenes with him. They were a lot of fun, and he's a lot of fun to work with.
Wait a minute!
Cher's the kind of woman who can give any leading man quite a workout. In Moonstruck, you almost feel sorry for Nicolas Cage.
I'm in love with you.
Did Nick Cage get tired of you slapping his face?
No, but I certainly did. I really hated doing that, and Norman kind of really wanted it, you know, hard, and so I was like doing it. And originally it was only supposed to be 1 slap. And then there was the second slap, you know, and it works great now, but it was a little bit difficult to do it. Snap out of it!
You sure caught the life of those Italian-American families.
Yeah, I think, well, you know, Italians from Brooklyn are different than anyone anywhere else. I think it's like, let's say, I don't want to talk about it. So I don't want to talk about it sounds like that when I'm speaking, you know, in my own dialect. If you talk it in a Brooklyn dialect, it's like, I don't want to talk about it.
I want to talk about whether it's going to win an Oscar for you.
I don't know. You know, I think I had written a Meryl a letter, and I had said that I thought this was absolutely her best performance in Ironweed. Even though I wasn't crazy about the movie, I just thought she was brilliant in it. And I like Holly Hunter, and I thought Glenn Close was really great. I didn't see Sally Kirkland. I didn't see Anna. But, you know, you can't tell. I think that the performances that I'm up against are all really good, so that, oh, you know, I think I've got as good a chance as anybody else.
This lady is no longer a tramp. Moonstruck, Masked and Witches of Eastwick have made her one of the few Hollywood actresses who command over $1 million a picture and also guarantee a box office hit. You get the feeling it's only a matter of time until she wins the Oscar. But Cher says her life is her own. She doesn't belong to Hollywood.
They're not going to do to Cher what they did to Marilyn Monroe.
Well, I mean, no. First of all, I think it's a much different time for women. I mean, you know, that was a time when women were supposed to be good girls. I have no intention of being a good girl. And it was also, you know, Marilyn Monroe had problems in alcohol and drugs. I don't have those problems.
You do play the star better than most of them, really.
Well, you know, Meryl still likes to do her own ironing. I'm really not interested in ironing. I did that when I was young, you know, so I live the way that I like to live, and I live a good lifestyle. My children live a good lifestyle. I spend money where I want to, but, you know, it's my money. If I wanted to burn it in the middle of the street, I made it, so I can kind of do what I want with it.
I got you, babe. I got you, babe. I got you, babe. I got you, babe. I got you.
Hello, I'm Tara Brown. Thanks for watching. To keep up with the latest from 60 Minutes Australia, make sure you subscribe to our channel. You can also download the 9Now app for full episodes and other exclusive 60 Minutes content.